What's going on, everybody? Boris here at your Ecology Design Studio, and today I want to show you really quickly a quick model that I created for the analysis and prediction of coal prices. And let's just go through here really quickly. Basically, we have a logarithmic coal price variable. We have our intercept. We have the price of oil, a lagged logarithmic variable for oil imports, a lagged logarithmic variable for coal prices, another lagged logarithmic variable for total energy consumed, and I believe it was in billions. Yes, it's in billions of BTU in the United States. And this is just for domestic consumption and domestic imports and prices. We also have the price for nuclear fuel. And here are the results. And basically, to sum it up, we see that a 1 increase in oil prices corresponds to a 1.4% increase in coal prices. A 1% increase in the previous year's oil imports means that coal prices have increased approximately 0.5%. A 1% increase in the previous year's coal prices means that this year's coal prices will be again about a little over 0.5% higher. A 1% increase in the previous year's total consumed energy means that coal prices decrease 32.87%, which is a surprising result and may or may not be accurate. But as you can see here, it is a statistically significant or statistically valid result. And a $1 increase in nuclear fuel prices leads to a 43.5% increase in coal prices, but nuclear fuel prices are pretty stable. I think I'll throw the Excel data set that I used for this study on our website, on our ecologydesigns.com/feed. The links will be down below in the description. But these results are surprising for a variety of reasons, and one of them, again, is that we see a pretty big decrease in coal prices when total consumed energy increases, and it's theoretically we would expect the opposite. We would expect coal prices to increase given an increase in demand, but if we do take this at face value, again, the model could be misspecified or it could be wrong. The data set there's a lot of things that can invalidate this finding. So just take it with a grain of salt. But supposing it is true, what could be the cause of this? And one reason could be because the coal supply is so abundant and so plentiful. I think there's about, with the current existing sources of coal that we know, there's about a 200-year supply, even considering increases in demand. So I think that could be hinting that maybe the coal prices won't decrease, but that they won't be necessarily affected because the highly abundant supply of coal can absorb large short-term to medium-term increases in demand. And we see that coal prices are determined by a variety of factors, the two most important being total energy consumed and the previous year's coal prices. What's most interesting here is that oil and nuclear fuel prices increase, or as they increase, that leads to a corresponding increase in the cost of coal. But keep in mind that causality here is not established. We'd expect the price to actually stay the same or go down if this was a substitute, because an increase in demand would lead to a corresponding increase in prices. If the supply was semi-elastic or inelastic, but we see that the supply here is very elastic, a very abundant supply of coal, and this is part. What you're looking here, the results, what you see here is part of a PDF document that's posted on our website. You can read the additional details here on the side, on the sides, and I'll post a link to that down below. But basically, I think it's useful to try and understand the relationship between coal and oil. A lot of people hate coal and they hate oil, and they have very strong reactions when we talk about big coal or big oil. But it's not something that's going to go away recently, or it's not going to go away fairly soon, because the new energy sources wind, solar, geothermal, don't have as high of a carrying capacity or a base load capacity as things like oil, coal, and nuclear fuel. These are the three most reliable, not necessarily the most efficient, but these are the ones that have the highest baseload capacity uh, and are widely available for the time being, at least. Whereas things like wind, you can't store wind power. Either you have wind or you don't have wind. The same thing with solar power. Either there is sunlight coming in and it's being converted by photovoltaic cells, or there's no sunlight coming in. Whereas coal, if you have a bag of coal, you can use it to burn energy today, or if you don't burn it, you can use it 3 weeks from now, and you still have that bag of coal with an X amount of energy contained in that bag, or I should say a ton of coal. And it's fairly cheap. I think you can buy a ton of coal for like 14 bucks. Um, if you're a coal company, that is. And that's pretty cheap, high sulfur content, just terrible coal. Um, but coal is not very expensive at the moment. So understanding the relationship between the different types of energy in existence is fairly important. Um, or if there even is a relationship, that can be helpful. Knowing that can be helpful as well. If we know that there is no relationship between coal prices and oil imports, or coal prices and um, coal consumption, things like that. Although I don't think there is, I don't think there's no relationship between coal prices and coal um, usage, because if coal costs $1 million per pound, then I'm pretty sure that we won't be able to use um, that fuel type or that energy type as extensively as we do now at $14 to $50 per ton. And the cost of energy, we have to keep in mind that it affects millions of people in the United States and abroad every day. And the only way we can minimize environmental damage caused by energy generation, I think, is by understanding what drives energy production, consumption, and pricing, so that we can better transition into the more environmentally friendly methods of energy generation. So that was my quick spiel on coal pricing and analysis. Let me know what you think. Do you think the model is wrong? Looking at the variables here, if not, how can it be improved? What other things should we add to this or take away from to conduct the analysis? And I should probably throw in there that this analysis was conducted using Stata, statistical software package. And here we see the R squared, the correlation coefficient, or basically the goodness of fit. It has a very high F statistic and or very low probability, and a very high F statistic and a very high R squared value. So on average, holding all else constant, we can explain away about 97.62% of variation observed in these variables down here. And seeing the low t-value, the probabilities, we see that these are statistically significant results, with the exception of nuclear fuel prices here, because it's 0.012. So that means that it's not statistically significant at the 1% significance level at alpha of 0.01, but it is significant at the 5% and the 10%. Whereas everything else is significant at the 1, 5, and 10% alpha levels, respectively. So again, if you have any questions or comments, let me know what you think about the model, about the variables, and about new ways we can move forward in understanding energy pricing, so that we can transition, again, as I said, transition into better methods or cleaner methods of energy generation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on an Arcology Designs production.